I remember the summer before my first semester at college, I went out to the mailbox and there was an envelope. And in that envelope was an invitation to my college orientation. The letter stated where I needed to go, when I needed to be there, and what I needed to bring. There must be 8 entrances to get onto campus, and I drove into each and every wrong one until I got to the last 2, which were designated for orientation. After finding a lot to park my car in, I got out and followed the numerous signs to orientation, which eventually led me to a desk with 2 orientation leaders that helped me check in. After picking up a folder with some important information and a name tag, I was ushered into an auditorium. I couldn't help but think, looking around at everyone, who of these people would I get to know, and who would I become friends with in the 4 years I had ahead with them at the college? But then it hit me that this is only 100 people, and the freshman class was much bigger than just 100 people, hence why they had to have numerous orientation sessions. Eventually, some campus representative came up to the stage, talked in the microphone a little, welcoming us, gave us the breakdown of the day's events, and told us everything to do. We were then moved from the auditorium outside to a grass area, where all the students were collected. We were separated into small groups of about 10 to 15 people. So in our small groups, we were introduced to our orientation leaders. And these orientation leaders are people you are going to remember up until the day you graduate, even beyond that. They're upperclassmen, usually they're wearing some kind of college t-shirt or uniform, and their job is to guide you along orientation and also help answer any questions you have about college. They had us do some games and some icebreakers. I remember for our group, we had to sit around in a circle and they tossed around a hacky sack. And everyone who caught the hacky sack had to share with the group 3 different things about themselves. And it seemed a little bit cheesy at first, but to tell you the truth, no one was talking amongst themselves in the group. Everybody was afraid to say hi to each other. So as cheesy as it seemed, it actually did work, and I met about 7 or 8 people out of the 14 in my group and got talking with them, and things were rolling smoothly. I was no longer just one individual person. I was in a group with some people I knew. After bonding time and everybody gets to know each other a little bit more, you go on a tour of the campus. So the orientation leaders, in their amazing ability to walk backwards and point things out at the same time, will tell you all about where the buildings are and what is housed in each building. During your walking tour of campus, or shortly after, you're going to be directed to go into either an office on campus or the campus police department, and you're going to pick up your parking pass and or your student ID card. And these are very important things to get because you don't want to get caught up in the lines getting them when college starts up. The lines are going to be very long for the first week or 2, and you're going to need the parking pass right from day 1 or you're going to get a ticket. So make sure to pick up these things. The student ID is also important because you'll need it if a lot of colleges make you show it to get into the dorms, or it might even be the key to get into the front door in some dorms. And if you have a meal plan, that's going to be your payment. It's all stored on an electronic chip in the card. At some point during orientation, you are treated to something you're probably going to like most about college, and that is the meals. You're going to get, at most orientations, a lunch, and it's your first taste of college food. In most colleges, it's buffet style. You'll go up and they'll have different selections of food you can choose. They may not have all of them at orientation because it's kind of the off season, but you will probably have 1 or 2 things you can choose from. At some point, you'll be brought into an academic advising session. During this advising session, you're going to be separated from your small groups most likely. And the reasoning for this is because they put you in academic advising sessions based on your major. So the people you just met in your group might have all different majors, and maybe only one or two of them will be brought into you. When you're in the academic advising session, it's usually a staff member from the college who will walk you through the process, and they're going to give you some paperwork or direct you to an online section of their website that shows you two important things: your degree plan and courses you can take. The degree plan is going to be all the requirements, all the courses required that you need to complete in order to obtain your degree and graduate. Course offerings is going to be noted somewhere on the website or in a booklet they'll hand you, and this will tell you all the classes that are available the upcoming semester and what you could possibly get into. So you got to watch out. Certain classes are only offered once every other semester, or order and a structure in which you need to take some classes to. There's a part A and a part B, and you need to make sure to take them in the proper order. Within 20 to 30 minutes of starting your academic advising session, you'll probably be more understanding of how the process works, and you're going to work on starting your first semester schedule. Come up with several backup plans, because as a freshman, you're lowest on the totem pole when it comes to registering for these classes, so you might be stuck with all 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. courses, and you might be going to class on Friday, whereas upperclassmen try and avoid that kind of stuff. So come up with a schedule Monday through Thursday or Friday, whatever you want to take your courses, and then on the side, note several different courses that you can fill in the event that the courses you want to take are filled. People who do freshman orientation earlier in the summer have a better chance of getting classes than people who are taking the last orientation session, because everyone else has already registered and filled in the classes. So just be prepared. The classes you want, some of them are going to be closed out because they're already filled with students. Sometime after you've completed your first semester schedule, the academic advisor that's in the room with you may look it over and see if there are any general big problems with it. And if there aren't any, they'll give you the stamp of approval and you'll be good to go. And either immediately after or later in the day, you're going to go to registration. This is something that's changing over the years. Sometimes you'll go and stand in a line and physically register for the classes during orientation. Other times they'll put you in a computer room where you'll immediately register for your classes. And other times still, they'll just okay what you've signed up for and tell you to register for your classes at home versus doing it during orientation. So this varies. When I did it, I had to stand in line. It was still a very manual process where you went in a long line, waited. It probably took 20 minutes or so for you to get to the front of the line, to hand it to a person that was actually there, and they would input you into whatever classes you needed. There were signatures involved and things like that. Today it's as easy as going online. It'll tell you instantly on the spot how many spaces are left in a class and if you can get into it or not. It's a lot more time-saving in doing that. As college orientation wraps up, you might be brought back into the same orientation that you sat in the beginning of the day when it all started. They may have some closing comments, and then from there, a lot of places will guide you directly to the bookstore where you can purchase books for the upcoming semester, and you can see all kinds of sweatshirts or t-shirts with the college for sale. As far as sweatshirts and t-shirts are concerned, yeah, you could get one if you want, but if you wait until the end of the semester, I have always seen campus bookstores having sales towards Christmas time or towards the end of the year when they're trying to shift inventory out. It might not be the best stuff, but as a college student, you can appreciate it's going to be the cheapest stuff. Thanks for checking out this episode of my Stick Figure College Experience. If you like what you see, check us out at heyfreshman.com for college tips and tricks. Like, link, subscribe, and tell your friends about us.